Faye breaks silence. My love for Yoko was real, but our Valentine never came. For weeks, Faye stayed silent. While social media burned with speculation, while Yoko flaunted her new relationship with Grace in smiling photographs and brand campaigns, Faye disappeared. No statements, no interviews, just quiet, the kind of quiet that feels heavier than words. But on a rainy Tuesday night, that silence finally broke. Faye took to her personal Instagram, posting a long, handwritten letter. No fancy design, no filters, no stylized PR edits. Just a simple white page in black ink, shaky, raw, and painfully human. The caption read, "Sometimes, the hardest truth is accepting that love doesn't always end with closure." What followed was a confession that shattered the internet. My love for Yoko was real, she wrote. Not scripted, not planned, not for cameras. It was something I felt deeply, something that made me believe in us even when everything around us started to fade. But our Valentine never came. Maybe it was never meant to. In one paragraph, Faye did what the agency spent months avoiding. She gave fans the truth they deserved. The letter that stopped the nation, the letter was long, heartfelt, and painfully honest. Faye didn't name names, but she didn't have to. Every sentence dripped with memory, with loss, with the unmistakable tone of someone who loved too deeply and was left behind. She described how fame changed everything, how the moments that once felt pure began to feel like performances. At some point, she wrote, I couldn't tell if I was still her person or just a reflection in the spotlight. Fans immediately understood who her was. The post exploded. Over 2 million likes in less than 12 hours. Thousands of comments from fans, celebrities, and even fellow actors expressing support. Hashtag FaceSpeaks trended #1 in Thailand, and soon after, in several other countries. Clips of her past interviews resurfaced again, moments where her eyes softened when she looked at Yoko, where she smiled a little too sincerely when fans asked about their relationship. Everything suddenly made sense. But what hit fans hardest was her final line. Maybe I was the chapter that taught her love, but not the one she wanted to keep reading. That sentence went viral. It was quoted on every entertainment site, posted on fan pages, and used as captions under old photos of Faye and Yoko together. And for the first time, even people who never followed their story could feel the pain behind her words. A love that was never fiction. Faye's revelation changed everything. For years, both women had insisted that what fans saw on screen was just acting. But Faye's letter told another story, one that blurred the lines between real and real. Insiders began speaking up again. One close friend of Faye revealed to a local magazine, Faye never stopped caring for Yoko, even when she was told to distance herself for PR reasons. She believed they would eventually reunite, that after all the media games, they'd still find their way back to each other. But instead of reunion, Faye got silence. Yoko had already moved on, both personally and professionally. She was the new face of a luxury perfume line, doing brand tours with Grace, smiling at cameras as though her past had been rewritten. Still, Faye's letter pierced through the glossy PR image. It reminded everyone that behind every viral ship, there are real emotions, real heartbreaks. She's hurting, wrote one fan. You can feel it in every word. This wasn't about fame. This was about love. Another fan commented, she gave her all. And they took it, packaged it, and sold it. And when they were done, they threw her heart away. The fandom divided. Some defended Yoko, arguing that she had the right to move on. But the overwhelming wave of emotion was for Faye, the quiet, loyal, steady partner who never sought attention until her pain became too heavy to bear. The unanswered question, did Yoko ever love her back? That question began haunting every fan discussion. Did Yoko truly love Faye? Or was she simply following the agency's script all along? Faye's letter never accused, but it hinted at loneliness, at betrayal disguised as professionalism. She mentioned how someone she trusted began spending less time with her, how every public smile started feeling like a goodbye. And while she didn't mention Grace by name, fans knew exactly who she meant when she wrote, sometimes the person you would have fought the world for is already building another world without you. It was poetic, tragic, and brutally honest. By morning, Thai entertainment shows, Gossip blogs, and even international fan pages were covering Faye's post like breaking news. TV anchors discussed it. Brands who once dropped her suddenly began reaching out again, not out of pity, but because she had become something rare in the entertainment world: authentic. Faye had gone from being the forgotten half of a former power couple to the symbol of heartbreak and resilience. The agency in panic mode. Faye's post didn't just trend, it caused chaos inside the agency. Their carefully crafted image for Yoko and Grace was suddenly under fire. Fans flooded brand pages, demanding statements. Others began boycotting Yoko's new endorsements, tagging the companies under the viral hashtag Justice for Faye. Sources close to the agency revealed that Yoko's management team tried to convince her to release a neutral statement, something soft, professional, emotionless. But Yoko refused. She stayed silent, even as the internet burned around her. That silence made things worse. If she had just said something, anything, maybe fans would have forgiven her, said a social media strategist familiar with the agency. But her silence made her look guilty, like she didn't care. Meanwhile, Grace continued with her activities as usual, smiling for cameras, posing beside Yoko, acting as though nothing had happened. Fans began labeling her the homewrecker, even though there was never an official confirmation that Yoko and Faye were romantically involved. But in the world of fandom, emotion often matters more than facts. And emotionally, Faye had already won. A love story that ended before its Valentine in her final message. Faye wrote one haunting line that will likely be remembered for years. "We promised to spend our first Valentine together, but that day never came." No one knew whether she meant it literally or as a symbol for the love that never got its closure. Either way, it hit millions like a punch to the heart. Fans started posting edits of Faye's old Valentine's livestream, where she once blushed while talking about her special someone. Now, that clip resurfaced with thousands of comments reading, "We know who you meant now." The fandom's grief turned into something almost sacred, not just heartbreak, but solidarity. They began writing open letters, fan art, and trend campaigns celebrating Faye's courage. What started as gossip had evolved into a story about strength, vulnerability, and the painful price of love in show business. Faye's words echoed across social media for days. News outlets, reaction videos, and even other celebrities quoted her now iconic line: "My love for Yoko was real, but our Valentine never came." It wasn't just a confession. It was closure, not for her and Yoko, but for everyone who had ever loved someone who didn't love them back.